Namaste, Hamesha Khush Raho. My name is JVN Manisha Singh. Today I am teaching you crystallization. Subject name is Unit Operations in Food Industry. Discipline is Food and Biotechnology. Now let's start the topic crystallization. Basically, crystallization is a phenomenon in which nucleation, growth, agglomeration, breakage, and surface properties. Crystallization affects the microstructure, glass transition, texture, and rheology of the food product. And characteristics of the crystallization is its crystal size, habit morphology, and purity. And its application is separation, purification, concentration, solidification. And the crystallized products are the chocolate, frozen foods, sugars like lactose and confectionery, fractionally crystallized lipids, proteins, whey. Then, what is crystallization? Crystallization is an example of a separation process in which mass is transferred from a liquid solution whose composition is generally mixed to a pure solid crystal. Soluble components are removed from solution by adjusting the condition so that the solution becomes supersaturated and excess solute crystallizes out in a pure form. This is generally accomplished by lowering the temperature or by concentration of the solution, in each case to form a supersaturated solution from which crystallization can occur. The equilibrium is established between the crystals and the surrounding solution, the mother liquor. The manufacture of sucrose from sugarcane or beet sugar is an important example of crystallization in food technology. Crystallization is also used in the manufacture of other sugars such as glucose and lactose, in the manufacture of food additives such as salt, and in the processing of foodstuffs such as ice cream. In the manufacture of sucrose from cane, the water is added and the sugar is pressed out from the residual cane as a solution. This solution is purified and then concentrated to allow the sucrose to crystallize out from the solution. Then crystallization equilibrium. Once crystallization is concluded, equilibrium is set up between the crystals of pure solute and the residual mother liquor. The balance being determined by the solubility and the temperature. The driving force making the crystals grow is the concentration axis of the solution above the equilibrium level. The resistances to growth are the resistance to mass transfer within the solution and the energy needed at the crystal surface for incoming molecules to orient themselves to the crystal lattice. Then solubility and saturation. Solubility is defined as the maximum weight of the anhydrous solutes that will dissolve in 100 gram of solvent. In the food industry, the solvent is generally water. Solubility is the function of temperature. For the most food materials, increasing temperature increases the solubility of the solute, as shown in for the sucrose. Pressure has very little effect on the solubility. This is the solubility and saturation curves for sucrose in water. On the y-axis, there is a concentration in kg sucrose per kg water and temperature is in degrees Celsius. This curve is the solubility curve. This curve is the supersaturation curve. And this is the stable region. In between the solubility curve and supersaturation curve is a metastable region. And above that, all of the supersaturation region. Then crystallization equilibrium. During the crystallization, the crystals are grown from solutions with concentrations higher than saturation level in the solubility curves. Above the supersaturation line, crystals form spontaneously and rapidly without external initiating action. This is called spontaneous nucleation. In the area of concentrations between the saturation and the supersaturation curves, the metastable region, the rate of initiation of crystallization is slow. Aggregates of molecules form but then disperse again, and they will not grow unless seed crystals are added. Seed crystals are small crystals, generally of the solute, which then grow by deposition on them of further solute from the solution. This growth continues until the solution concentration falls to the saturation line. Below the saturation curve, there is no crystal growth. Crystals instead dissolve. An important crystallizer in the food industry is the cylindrical scraped surface heat exchanger, which is used for plasticizing margarine and cooking fat and for crystallizing ice cream. It is essentially a double pipe heat exchanger fitted with an internal scraper. The material is pumped through the central pipe and agitated by the scraper with the cooling medium flowing through the annulus between the outer pipes. A crystallizer in which considerable control can be exercised is the crystal or Oslo crystallizer. In this, a saturated solution is passed in a continuous cycle through a bed of crystals. Close control of crystal size can be obtained. When a solution is cooled to produce a supersaturated solution and hence to cause crystallization, the heat that must be removed in the sum is the sum of sensible heat necessary to cool the solution and the heat of crystallization. When using evaporation to achieve the supersaturation, the heat of vaporization must also be taken into the account because few heats of crystallization are available, and it is usual to take the heat of crystallization as equal to the heat of solution to form the saturated solution. Theoretically, it is equal to the heat of solution plus the heat of dilution, but the latter is small and can be ignored. For most food materials, the heat of crystallization is positive, that is, heat is given out during the crystallization. Note that the heat of crystallization is the opposite of heat of solution. If a material takes in heat has a negative heat of solution, then the heat of crystallization is positive. Heat balances can be calculated for crystallization. Then crystallization equipment. Crystallizers can be divided into the two types, crystallizers and evaporator. A crystallizer may be simple open tank or vat in which the solution loses heat to its surroundings. The solution cools slowly so that large crystals are generally produced. To increase the rate of cooling, agitation and cooling coils or jackets are introduced, and these crystallizers can be made continuously. The simplest is an open horizontal trough with a spiral scraper. The trough is water jacketed so that its temperature can be controlled. Evaporative crystallizers are the common in the sugar and the salt industries. They can generally of the calandria type. Vacuum evaporators are often used for crystallization as well as though provision needs to be made for handling the crystals. Control of crystal size can be obtained by careful manipulation of the vacuum and feed. The evaporator first concentrates the sugar solution, and when feeding commences, the vacuum is increased. This increase causes further evaporation of water, which cools the solution and the crystals grow. Fresh saturated solution is added to the evaporator and evaporation continued until the crystals are of the correct size. In some cases, open pan steam heated evaporators are still used, for example, in making coarse salt for the fish industry. In some countries, crystallization of salt from seawater is affected by solar energy, which concentrates the water slowly, and this generally gives large crystals. Crystals are regular in shape, cubic, rhombic, tetragonal, and so on. The shape of the crystals forming may be influenced by the presence of other compounds in the solution, even in traces. The shape of the crystals is technologically important because such properties as the angle of repose of stacked crystals and the rate of dissolving are related to the crystal shape. Another important property is the uniformity of the size of the crystals in a product. In products such as sucrose, a non-uniform crystalline mixture is unattractive in appearance and difficult to handle in packaging and storing, as the different sizes tends to separate out. Also, the important step of separating mother liquor from the crystals is more difficult. Thank you. If you have any query, please mention it in a comment box. I will resolve them whenever we have a live session. Thank you so much for watching this video.